check, check. Good evening, guys. How are we doing this evening? Appreciate you all being here on time. We'll give it 1 or 2 more minutes and we'll get going. Meta AMD, nice. Mara. AMD had the breakdown, unfortunately, last week. I'm kind of bummed about that. What looked like a good setup on a cup and handle was not a cup and handle. All right, one last annoying message, then we'll get started. Nice. All right, guys, welcome in, welcome in. My name is StartedWith. Glad to have you guys here. Another Sunday scan. Hope everybody's weekend was good. Time away from charts, you know, a little relaxation, mental reset, so to speak. But yeah, we got a nice little dip last week and a little bit of a bounce after that. So I'm really liking where we're at with some things. But with that said, you guys, I'm going to get started right away because we always run long. I'm going to start with SPY just to give us a look here. I'm on the 1 hour charts, you guys, the 1 hour chart, just to kind of give us a little bit of a mid-range time frame to figure out kind of where we're at, where we might be going. Some biggest things to note from last week is this big old all-time high zone down here. I didn't know, but I expected when we came down to this zone here that we would bounce, and we definitely did. And so we have bounced from those lows there last week, and now we're kind of at a spot here where early in the week, I think there's some things to watch. For me, my focus is this 595.43-ish. It can vary a little bit on your chart as well, but basically I made that line thicker for us. We kind of see once we get over it, what the little push we do when we're under it, the sell pressure, like I always say. And looks like we attempted it, on Thursday, rejected. Friday, I mentioned in my tab, that's the spot to watch, and that was a battle pretty much all day on Friday. So if you got dips on the lower end, you got paid. If you're chasing at the bottom or chasing the top, it's probably a pretty tough day for you. And so right now I'm looking at this lower zone here and a top zone. It's kind of, I don't want to call it rising wedge, although it does appear to be getting smaller at the top, just more of a channel moving up, like an upward channel, basically. I just call these things, like channels or a zone, up or down, downward channel or upward. Obviously, if I were to extend these out, you could call it, hey, it's a rising wedge, and who knows, in 2, 3, 4 weeks, maybe it pans out. But basically, the most important thing, you guys, is grab these wicks and these top zones every time we push up and draw your line. And at the bottom, you can grab these big wicks down here. We got 1, 2, 3, 3 big touches for confirmation. And now we have our purple line, this daily 9 moving average is underneath us. So we sold through last week and we're under one of them. And obviously we came back to all-time high zone, and now we push up. And so again, this thick line, this 595.43, I'll probably mention in my tab. Just some things to watch, because we can see, you guys, when we get over it, no bias aside, we can see what happens when we get over, and so I think early in the week, that's going to be the springboard. If we can push over and bounce it, that is probably going to be the move to take some calls off of, and then take calls with, confidence that, hey, this level, for today is going to hold. Any sells under, whether it's tomorrow or the next day, is, more so the next day, but tomorrow, if we open somewhere down here, we start selling through, that's fine. We can be bearish on the day, but just know there's a trend line here, and know, like, when you see these big wicks here, don't ignore that. Don't ignore the price action from the previous day, the previous week, or whatever. When you see wicks like this, like, don't just look at it and go, oh, there's some big wicks. Like, that says, when I look at this, these are hourly candles. When I look at this from Friday, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and even after hours, there's 6 attempts of a hard sell down. And if we look at the candle based off the candle closes, the bears did not succeed. Did they sell through this level? Yes. Did they hold it? No. Every single time, big buyers back up. So if we sell under this level, take your puts and trim. But like I always say, don't hold full position. And we start getting into this, 594 zone and just cheering and taking screenshots, and then we bounce again. And so take note of that price action from Friday. It's very, very important. Of that's some big buyers there, and that's buyers stepping in hard at 594. Okay. Yep, I slowly made the move this year from Thinkorswim to Webull. It's a learning curve. I'm still on Webull for some stuff, but as far as charting, I just like it on Thinkorswim a lot more. I still like the active trader aspects on Webull a little bit more, but can't be happy about everything. But it's a nice move. It took some time to get used to, for sure. But I mean, having the ability to have chart layers and stuff is a game changer for me. But yeah, with that, you guys, that's what I think about, or my thoughts on SPY right now. I'm just going to kind of glaze over it and glance over a little bit, because these lectures run long, and I want to make sure we get to everything. So QQQ is next, as expected, kind of a similar setup, a little bit of a zoom out. Friday, Thursday. So we sold through, we sold down. We kind of opened here last week on Friday, or last week, excuse me. And we're using, if I make this zone here, this line here, we can kind of see how that was the move, the levels to watch early in the week last week. And once we got over it, it was kind of game on. And we started, after we kind of got over that little hurdle, so to speak, what do we do? Some higher lows. Okay. And so now we want to see and continue, or expect to get some higher lows through this week. It's a short week. We have Thanksgiving. And if I am not mistaken, Friday's a half day. And so basically this week, I really only treat as 3 trading days. We can definitely trade, and we will trade on Friday, but things move a lot slower. We usually just get like a nice big move at the open on Friday, and then we kind of stall out and chop a little bit. So for me, kind of the same thing. Got our top zone extension here in our bottom. I know I didn't grab these wicks down here. I was just trying to decide before class started. To me, I like this bottom line a little bit better just because it's the cluster of those moves. When we sold down, it's kind of where the candles closed and bounced back. But certainly, or one could argue that, I could bring these down here and just grab a couple of these wicks here. And it's kind of almost the same thing. But for me, I like to go where the action is. And so that's kind of why I had that drawn there. But QQQ, same thing. So we got the daily 9 a little bit closer underneath us. And so for me, early tomorrow, early in the day, if we open around 506, I want a 506.52 push and a break. Okay. So when I say a push and a break, like price action like this, I want to see an early push over and a hold on the day. Like if this level was here, I want to see an early push over. And if we bounce and retest it, I want to see us hold this 506.52 for a run on the day, whether we trend all day, whether we range or chop, I don't know. But for me to, be this bullish, this close to the zone, because we've seen the rejections here, we've seen the rejections here, and seeing the rejections Friday. And so for me, 506.52 is all that matters on QQQ to be bullish tomorrow, assuming we open here. If we open lower down here around this 504, definitely we can take some calls down here in this 504 zone. But anything up to this range is not top range, but top zone from last week. You always look at the range and be mindful of the range from the week prior. Okay. And so for me, 506.52, if we open there, that's really all that matters. If we sell under that early, I'm either going to let sellers take their turn and cautiously buy some dips when it makes sense. Or if it looks like we have some hard selling pressure, when we sell through, our first like big level is 506, I'll wait for a sell under and short the bounce up basically and get a trend down or potential trend down. But that's my thoughts on QQQ. Again, kind of similar chart with SPY, the big sell, the recover, and we're kind of back, halfway to the all-time highs on both charts. Okay. All right. Some of you guys' requests, let's just dive right into it. I think first thing I seen was Meta. Okay. I'm gonna stick to the 1 hour chart, you guys. If you guys need me to zoom out farther, let me know. Meta, zoom years, you're bullish. Do you want to be bullish? You're already in it and you're up. Let me know. Otherwise, guys, I'm gonna give just my day trade perspective. If you want like a long swing idea, make sure it's in the chat because it'll kind of vary on the levels we play off of. But Meta right now, this week, I don't know if we get there, but for sure our ceiling, our top resistance for me is 570. Because if we just take a look at this price action here, we get over, we see the big moves over, we get under, we see the hard sell pressure, hard selling pressure again. That was just Thursday, that attempt Thursday morning open, hard sell down, hard smackdown. And so for me, I like where we bounce, this 55529. And again, there's lots of levels in between here, guys. But for me, when I take a trade, I always zoom out and go, okay, which nearest levels are we around? Like, I never want to see an open down here, a push up, and now I look at Meta and go, okay, and now I want calls after I missed this huge $8 move. And so always start the larger time frame, you guys, build a game plan. And so for me, I want to see, are we kind of opening around this zone here? Are we opening lower? Let's kind of see, because we can close somewhere. It may look like a bullish close or whatever you want to think, but it just matters. Let's see where we are pre-market. And so for me, I think this 563 to 563.16 is going to come into play tomorrow. Will we push and blast it? I have no idea. Push up and reject, or if we open under where we closed. So open under Friday's close. If we do that, then I am short term on the day bearish. But as a Zoom user said, I'm not. If I say I'm bearish, I'm just bearish on the day, just because of level we open. But maybe a larger time frame outlook. I like where we're at on Meta. I will say though, let's look at these wicks here. And the zone here, and the zone here. So you already know where I'm going. This needs to hold this week, 555.29, 555.29. Okay, because We get over that, yeah, we can be bullish and these moving averages are going to start curling. But when we sell, to me, you're selling a big zone, a demand zone, a support zone, whatever you want to call it. If we sell through this zone, to me, that is kind of buyers giving up short term because they've held that level since basically October 28th. So an entire month, this level is holding. And if it doesn't, we see big sell volume down or sell pressure. To me, that could be laid down, whether it happens in a day or a week, I don't know. But I would expect to see moves down to this level here. So for me, I'm on the 4-hour chart now. I really want to see that level hold. Yep. Just trying to pay attention to the chat. Sorry. Kev or KAE, I'll come back to your question on. I'll go back to SPY at the end of the class. I kind of want to keep rolling with this though. But yeah, Meta, definitely. If we put in lower high or higher low, I always get that backwards. Sorry, higher low, and we start getting closes. Yeah, definitely. You get like December calls, boom, zone 1, 2, and then all up here. And so Meta's in a nice spot. Definitely a nice spot this week. We'll see what we get this week. We shall see. AMD was next. I'm going to go to the order I see them. AMD, remember that cup and handle that wasn't a cup and handle? Man, that hurts. That looked so clean. It just needed to break under, bounce for the handle and go, but it did not. And so for me, that's a bummer. Definitely a bummer, but all hope is not lost. AMD kind of sold through some big zones for me. Let's just see where we're at on the daily, just to kind of get our bearings and see where we're at. So no doubt, multi-day, actually probably multi-year, bottom trend here, bounced it there twice, almost to the penny, not quite. I guess I can cheat and move it up just for the sake of class. But we sold through, and so we sold through that 142, 143 area, which I don't like. But again, we're coming into a spot here where, let me get like a little shaded area. I'm a visual learner. Hopefully you guys are too, just to kind of visualize. So to me, this needs to hold this week and into the following week, because if this support gives out, it's not only a support, a huge support zone here. I know we're $5 away, but AMD can move $5 in a day, no doubt. So it's not looking great, but again, as long as this shade area holds and then the trend line holds, we're fine. But some things overhead to watch. The daily 20, pretty far away. I'm not saying we don't have to ignore it, but not worry about it probably this week. But the daily 9, that is the the purple dashed line. Every time we push up, sell through it, push up, sell through it, push up, sell through it. 3 days last week, push up, tagged it, sold through, push up, smack down. And so you get the point. Is right here, the chart is getting tight, and that dashed line just keeps pushing it down and down. And so this week, I think AMD right now is just day tradable. I would not be taking swings, because if you're swing bearish on it, it's like you're guessing and you're betting against this big support zone and this big trend line here, and you're just guessing or hoping that it sells through. And if you're bullish, I think you're early because we haven't hit this zone yet, and you're just like, well, I'm going to buy calls. It should hold. But really, what I want to see is kind of a curl down and a hold. And I want to see, these are some indecision candles, I would say, but I want to see some sells down and a hold. And then with time and with caution, once that moving average hopefully curls underneath it, that's where you can take your spot on calls, as long as the market looks like it, could be bullish or could bounce, but, trade it light. But again, that 134 to 136 on AMD is a very big spot. That's really important. I think it should hold this week. But again, I'm not in it, but I would expect, until proven wrong, until like some breakouts over that 139, like if I draw a line here at 139 for you guys ish, like who we see, look where all these body candles are closing. And even last week, or excuse me, that's a bearish candle, the white one. So that's where it opened here, pushed up, sold down, closed here, opened here, push up. So same thing. So 139, If we can break over that early tomorrow, yeah, take some calls for sure. But if we are opening right at 139, I'm not entering, even on a zoomed in look. I'm not, as I always say, don't be late to the party. If I see this push over, if we open somewhere down here, we push over, it's like I'm not going to start my call position at 139. I want to see a break over, a retest. Does the retest hold, and then get calls, or break out if a retest never comes and you just ride the moving averages, basically. Okay, hopefully that answers your question. Hopefully that's a good analysis on AMD. Meta. Do I have that on my list? No, I skipped that one tonight. Meta. Zoom out a little bit, kind of see where we're at. Yes, Meta. Wait, we already did that. Sorry, guys, long day. Mara. I was like, wait a minute, I just seen that chart. Mara. I would say follow Grizzlies, follow his analysis, follow Bitcoin stuff, but for what it's worth, let's see where we're at. Ooh, we got some triple top action. That's my puppy. Sorry about that, guys. If you hear the dog, he can hear me. He knows I'm in here, but all right. Definitely slap a line here. Like, no doubt. Definitely a line goes there. And does that line make sense? Absolutely. Look at that. Going all the way back to July. Does that line make sense back in February? Absolutely. We can see this price action. We get over it. This is way back, 9 months ago, guys. This is February. One line chart, as I call it. I love when that happens. All right. Did you have any comments on it? George is bullish on, how can you not be bullish on Bitcoin related stuff right now? So for me, that's our top 27.7. Hopefully you didn't just chase it and get your first entry, but we know the chart does not lie, you guys. 27.7 or 27 to be safe. Break over that and it's on, because that's the ceiling since July. Here's July. Here's early November, and here's Friday, so we know what decides a bullish continuation. So for me, we either break out, or this is the easiest double top trade to short of all time, because it's pretty clear on Mara. And so for me, obviously we want to follow Bitcoin stuff, like I said, but from a chart perspective only, from a chart perspective. So I'm grabbing this line here because I look for where candles, the body closes, and see if it lines up with wicks. Sometimes it's hard to grab really, really good ones. Sometimes they line up really good. But for me, on the week, I would treat, oops, I don't want that. I would treat this 23.6. This is the like the lower extreme. Like, maybe we get there this week, maybe we get there in a day. But for me, this little pocket here, I want this to hold this week. And so, but if it sells through, we're just going to say, hey, it's a double top. That's supply zone, whatever it is, and it's selling through. And so, really nice levels to play with. You can catch at 24.9, essentially 25. Catch some calls. But let's see where we open up. Let's see what Grizzlies has to say. If he alerts tomorrow and stuff like that. But like I said, very, very nice chart, trend line coming up. But again, like for me, I cannot watch the market open here and go, yeah, I want calls for, that baby move. Open over it, break out in a retest, or open over it and we hold. Yeah, get long, stay long. But it is too close to those big levels there for me on Mara. Good chart though, good request. All right. One iPhone. What is this name? Let's see. One Smart Intel International. Is that the right? ONE. Why is it not coming up? If it doesn't come up, we'll come back to that one. Sorry about that. Is it my brokerage? Nope. We will have to come back to that one. I'm sorry. AMD did that one. ABBV. Ooh, interesting. Ooh, interesting. All right, let's get the daily because well, I'm not gonna say I never trade it because someone asked about this some time ago because we had lines up there at 200. Yikes. That's hurting if someone bought in up there. 18%. All right. So merely from a moving average standpoint, what stands out? This is the 200. Look at that. Rejection, rejection. Okay. So if you want to be bullish, you better catch a dip and you better be selling at 200 because, or excuse me, the 200 moving average, because you guys don't forget moving averages are support and resistance. They're literally just moving. Okay. We can see, look at that reject to the penny right there. Okay. So I'm on the daily. Haven't charted this in a while, so we'll get a couple more lines for you guys. Definitely like that. And does that make sense? Yep, because it's grabbing the same wick. So not only did it reject the 200-day moving average, if we look here, we scan left, look at all this price action from February to March around here. So you see I drew those two lines here, looking at price action recently, because they lined up with that there. So for me, I'm not sure if you're already in ABV. Yeah, so bullish on it. iPhone says, well, I'm not saying you're wrong or can be wrong, but for me, if you're bullish, if you got in down here and you're bullish for a breakout, that's fine. But if you're starting a position here, I mean, I got to see that break and hold 176 to 179 or 180. Like a hold over 180, we start getting put in some higher lows, and we start doing this, and this curls under, and this moving averages catch up, and this curls under like that. Like you have two moving averages underneath you have two big supports, you have four reasons to be bullish. But for me, until then, yeah, I can't be opening a trade here, but that's just my perspective as a trader. Everyone's different, but based on the chart, it rejected where it should. But again, anything over that, 177 and 180 pocket, yeah, get long. Daily closes over that, definitely get long. But we start seeing rejections again, and now we're under. We start seeing rejections like that. Like that's short all the way. Short, long term, day trades are both ways definitely possible. But for me, I can't swing long on this name, I guess I should say. All right, trying to go through the chat. Don't want to get boost tracks. Square. Were you the one who asked in trade floor? Someone asked on Square. Big push up. Yep. Getting to the top zone here. Not saying it can't go more. But for me, it's getting risky up here. But not saying I'm bearish. Let's just see. Definitely those wicks there. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's get a lower one for you. Are you already in those December or you're looking to get in? Definitely lower extremity for me. 87.57, I like that. So good news is 87.57, that old March level broke out and held convincingly, and we're trending up. But now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 days of that top zone, that 93, 93.18 rejecting. And so it's something to watch, something to be mindful of. So just hypothetically, you got in down here, let's just say 9 days ago. If you're up big, you should better be trimming. For me, my mindset is I don't care if I have December 20th calls or March calls, whatever it is. Like if I play the chart. So if I buy in down here 82 and I catch this huge move, this $15 move, $12 move, whatever it is up here, I'm definitely trimming. I don't hold full because I think or I want it to break out. I trim and I sell where the chart tells me. For me, this is definitely a trim spot. whether you're in profit a little bit or a lot, or whether you just started the position. Hopefully you did just start here at 93, but it can break out. But for me, what I would expect to start seeing, we had 4 days rejection, so this moving average is going to catch up. And so now we're going to get this range in here. Does it sell through? Does this hold? We don't know. Do we break over? We don't know. But this moving average basically is just going to catch up. It's going to do one of these things. So we push up to a level here, and we sell through maybe to, the moving average. So do we come in Monday, Tuesday, and sell through? We want to see that moving average hold. We want to see, short term, we want to see 90 hold for sure. And to keep it going, keep the party going, anything over 94, keep holding. Daily closing over 94, keep holding, absolutely. But I don't know what percent you're up if you are already, but just a spot to watch, because you don't want to be, you just don't want to be late. You trade what the chart tells you, not your emotions, not your heart, but whatever the chart says. The chart says, top zone for now until it breaks out, Let's see. Coin, I think that thing's been rocketing, or did it get a pullback? I don't know. Let's see. I think this is a big level, 270. Yep, look at that big breakout. And you see, guys, going back to the chart where I said, don't be late to the top zone move. But when it happens, when a top zone breaks out or a bottom zone gives way, the move is usually explosive. It's usually big. It's usually continued. Usually, like I said, but yeah, let's get to, let me go to the weekly real quick and see where the heck we're at. Don't got enough time. All right, there we go. I'm gonna grab these wicks just for, speed up the class a little bit. Wick there, does that make sense? Does that make sense? What you shall see. Oops. Let me look a little bit here. Body close there. All right. So weekly, again, this is usually moves dependent of Bitcoin, but just from a weekly standpoint, are we meeting sellers where we thought we would? Absolutely. Okay. So again, don't be late. Don't be in the FOMO. If you miss this breakout, it's like, don't buy here at the top and watch a huge pullback, hopefully it'll hold for 40 bucks down, but, do what the chart tells you. For me, the chart says 289 basically held last week, which I like. That's a weekly chart. So let's zoom in a little bit, see where we're at. Okay. Zoomed in, look, same thing, same perspective, just a more detailed perspective. So for me on coin, strictly from a chart perspective, 290 has to hold this week. Okay. So that was the low zone last week, and late previous week, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that was the low of last week for sure. This was Monday, Thursday, Friday. So absolutely this 289 has to hold, because we know what happens when we get under 289. We see the selling pressure under. Okay, so 289 has to hold. We got the daily 9 curling, which is good. You want to see that if you want to be bullish on it. But I mean, look, just from a chart perspective, look where we're at. I mean, it's a big range, no doubt. It's $32, but we're smack dab in the middle. So if I draw even a line here, we're basically smack dab in the middle of where we see the movement. So bounce and calls at 304.75, we see the reaction there. We see the reaction under, we see the reaction over, under, let's say. So a big spot to play off of, no doubt. So any opens Monday over 304.75, I'm bullish cautiously. Any opens under, I'm bearish on a day trade just from looking at this range here. We see the moves up and down, up and down. I'm on the 1 hour chart. And I can zoom in and the look will be even the same. And so even we trade on the 5-minute time frame. What's the 5-minute time frame look like? It looks like the same thing. We get over that zone, we see the big move. We get under, we see the hard sell under, the hard sell under. Okay. So 304.75 to me is my spot to watch, because also this daily 9, I'm not sure exactly because it's a moving average. So it's the average of this price action as well. But if this opens here and we get over it, definitely get long, stay long. But rejections, I'm bearish on the day on coin for sure. Tesla. Everybody's bullish. Everybody wants to be bullish. No doubt. 357, you guys. Don't be late. When we hit 357, there are some big ass sellers parked there. 357 all the way to 360 zone. Everyone just gets hyped. They're on the 5-minute chart. They don't zoom out. They don't see where the hell they're at. I'm not saying I'm bearish. I'm just saying know where we are in the chart, because if we open out around that again and we reject, we get this big ass candle down again. It's like, why do we reject? It's like zoom out. There's a huge level there. How far back do I gotta go? Let's see. It's a red line. It's easy to follow. Look at that. That is 3 years ago price action. Okay. That's why you never delete lines, because price comes back to it and it respects it. Red line we get over, we see that move under. When we sell through, like look at this price action here from 3 years ago. This is a daily candle. We sell through it and look at buyers push back up. Yeah, take your calls, take your calls. Look at 357, smack down. Push over it, continuation. Under 357, boom, sell down. Under 357, this was April 2022, sell through. And look at that journey the last 2 years. Okay? Be bullish. We can be bullish, but don't be late on what the chart tells you. That 357 zone is huge, you guys. Absolutely huge. Okay? Day trade. How would I day trade this, assuming you guys are wanting to day trade it? So for me, early Friday, or excuse me, early tomorrow, I want to see that hold. 355 basically, probably. Okay. You catch an open over it and a bounce there. Absolutely. Take your calls. You trim heavy. You know, you're in 5, you sell 4 and you hold 1 to see if we break out. You know, ride it to Friday's high. That's fine. But if you're late, reject, we sell through. It's like, okay, what is that level telling you? There's still sellers parked there. Okay. So I want to see an open over 3, this for a day trade. I want to see an open over 355 probably, or hypothetically. Yeah, probably lines up 355, which is Friday's. It's not Friday's high, but it's that, you know, when I see 3 candle body closes or zones right there, that tells me it's a spot to watch. That should be treated as a support zone. But any opens under that, or any opens under a trend line like that, or opens here, and again, rejection, I'm bearish on the day. And for me, swinging calls, this is not where I would start a position to swing calls. We need daily closes to break over this and hold, you know, ideally a couple of days, or you can dip buy. You can come down to these lower zones here. Like this is a very, very nice consolidation zone down here from last week and the big breakout. Consolidation leads to big moves. So when you guys see these big moves like this, always keep it on watch and you set an alert. And you wait for it to trigger, because that is a range break. That is a big move that happens, or a range break below. You just move your alert down. You wait for it to break. Okay. So very nice chart, but for me, this is just a day trade zone. Absolutely a day trade zone. Jason, Starbucks. Oh man, that thing had a day last Friday and last week. Shit, look at that. Take your eyes off it and it just breaks that 100 and then breaks your heart because you weren't in it. Breaks my heart. But are you in this, Jason, or just want some perspective? Because we definitely got the range breakout that a lot of people have been wanting to see. Basically that 100 level, this top zone here, I'll make it a thick line so we can see it on your cell phones if you guys are on your phones. But for me, swinging short is a no-go, but you can take day trades, absolutely, because we're closing right here. I'm gonna grab this right here, definitely, because on a daily zoomed in look, I mean, that just makes total sense to me. All that price action in there. Look, we closed right at it, 102.50 basically, closed right at it. So Jason, for me, any sells back into 100, that is a round psychological number. reason number one that you can catch it, that's 2 moving averages. These dashed lines that are underneath it now are now underneath. So hypothetically, if we come into 100 again, you absolutely buy in some calls there because you expect that huge level. It's been trying. It's been trying all year. It sold through basically exactly this time last year to almost to the week. Wow, sold through. So an entire year of recovery, and it finally broke the 100. Okay. So for me, on swings, 100 is the level. Intraday, we definitely want to see some holds over, that 101.62. If I zoom in the chart, it looks like a big move, but that's only a $2.50 move. And so, day trade perspective, definitely. You look for these little clusters here, these zones here like this, and you extend it. Okay. You look for these zones here. And I want a tighter zone like that. Okay. Does this make sense to everybody why I just drew that and why you use consolidation as support resistance as well? So for me, if I was in, let's pretend the market's open, we're opening. If I seen open around here and we trickle into this, I'm absolutely, I don't take puts here because you expect that to hold there from Friday. Okay. So you absolutely take calls there for a bounce. We sell through it. You don't fumble, you don't chase it. What do? You wait for a retest of your zone, because that is this zone here, and you take your puts. Because look at your risk is small. If you're wrong on puts and we push up and break over, your risk is small, your reward is big. And those dogs are annoying. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. So from a day trade perspective, I really, really like this chart for tomorrow. If we, any pockets open to that, again, with caution, you buy your dips. Okay. You don't chase calls on a breakout. You don't buy people. The people are buying down here and we break out over, they're selling. If I'm in 10, I'm selling 8 of them. And if you're late, guess what? You're buying my 8. If I buy it $90 and I sell it 110, you're buying at 110. Thanks. Appreciate it, man. You bought them. Okay. You buy into dips, you buy into support zones here. So I really like that level. And again, even if we open over 102, we want to see that 102 hold because we're on the daily chart and how much that 102 made sense. Did Coinbase Bank of America? We day trade this one a lot, don't we? I think, let me make this line. I think this is a important zone here. I can't remember. Let's go to daily, see where we're at. What a recovery. Look at that on banks. All right. So we are, damn, that's a 3-year journey on BAC. Look at that. Okay. Chase says puts. If we're over 47, we need to get some sells under 47, brother. Gotta be honest. But you can either, I'm not gonna tell you how to trade. You can start a partial entry if we're over, but really, well, shit, we closed right at 47. So look at this thick line, you guys. We see that was the down journey. Once we broke that of February 17, 2022, that's been the journey down. So this thick line 47 is a level that matters for me for long swing, bearish or even bullish. It can go both ways. Okay. So now let's go back to our daily here. We can see we pushed up, tried to break out, but ultimately we basically closed right at it. Okay. So it's the daily chart. Our moving averages are now underneath us. A zoomed in look, 47. I mean, it's pennies here, but I mean, it says 46.93, but these slower movers, you got to be pretty damn accurate, but we can see 46.93, 47's up here. It looks like a big move on the chart. It's not that far off, but to be bearish, I need some closes under 47, and we got our daily 9 staggering up here. So ideally you want to see breakouts failing, sell through. Now you sold through a huge resistance, confirmation number 1. and now we sold through a moving average down here, this purple line, confirmation number 2. But we got to see what we're doing here at 47 this week. But if you buy time, trend is up. I'm not saying it's an amazing trade, but you got some time for it to work for you, as long as the strike makes sense and you have some time on it. But I mean, we can see, guys, even just last week when we hit that 47, what happens? Reject, break over, hold. So we reopen this week. That 47 is big. Lex, FRO. I think this is a new one. Frontline. Is that the animal pet thing? Tick thing, Frontline, maybe. Looking to play some puts for earnings this week. All right. Well, anything can happen, but I'll pretend you didn't say for earnings from a chart perspective. Because earnings, you guys, like, you can go, oh, this chart is bearish. Look, it's under 19.7, and that's why it sold. Well, it sold because of the financial, statement or comments they make on earnings. So from a chart perspective, yeah, this 19.7. Let's go to larger time frame. See where we're at. 19.71. Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense to me. Any sell continuation under that, we can see. It's probably a nice little pocket here, but really for me, anything under 19, you can swing short because you broke a big level. I mean, when we get over that level, it ran, the whole year, and now we're selling. And so, yeah, I mean, it's an earnings play, but from a chart perspective, any sells through that 19, yeah, there's support happening, but there's going to be selling pressure. We break that zone. That's kind of got to think about it from, a shares perspective. It's, if I'm buying shares at 19, we sell through it. It's like, man, okay, maybe sellers are strong. Maybe buyers are giving up. There's no interest in the company or whatever. It's like that 19 is huge. KO. Oh man. I'm selfishly hoping this doesn't run because I had a nice swing on this, but yeah, I definitely, for me, there's a couple people, I think I DM'd a couple people on this. I let them know I was in this trade. I think I caught it Tuesday last week. I caught most of this move. From a chart perspective, I like where it's setting up. It rejected where it should, or where I expected, I should say. 64.28, that thick line. Okay. 200 moving average is underneath, and now it's caught up to it. Okay. And now what do we have? Our other two moving averages. Look at our daily 20. It's a slower one, so it's going to curl slower. But ideally, worst case scenario, that 20 comes down to 63.34, and the daily 9 moves faster. So now that curls under. So for me, I want to, it's not a golden cross. It's not the 5,200, but it's a good cross when the 9, this purple, crosses back over the green. So for perspective, if you guys, like I would say, how do you catch long swings? Okay. When the purple crosses over the green, I'm looking down here. Consolidation, when the purple is over the green, it's on. It's trend time. Okay. When the purple, the 9 is under the green, sell, selling pressure. Every time it touches, gets close, rejection. Now we are in a breakout. Okay, we broke this long downtrend as of now. So for me, from a swing perspective, hypothetically, if I got like late December or January or later calls, because I want some time if I'm swinging on this. Let me just color a different color here. I want to see that level hold there, 63.34. Okay. On the daily, it makes sense. When I zoom left, you see why that level makes sense to me, or why I want that to hold? That's the level from May through July, 2-month consolidation. There's a lot of volume there. Okay. I want to see if we back test that, our buyer's still there. Okay. So for me, ideally, again, I'm being greedy. Not sure if you're already in, but I want to see hold, bounce, hold, bounce. I want to see a little consolidation here, because consolidation leads to bigger moves. or it could come down. But I want to see the 200 come overhead. I want to see the moving averages, stack up, and I want to see a big continued move. Maybe it goes straight up. That's fine. Ride the wave, trim all the way where it makes sense. But for me, that's a big level that it kind of stopped at last week. So does it have some more, legs on it, or is this just like a little breather for not a leg down, but a double bottom zone to the 62 or 61. So very nice chart. I like that. Fitness, good to have you in here, man. CLSK, like the close on it daily, close over 1479, daily 200. Curious your thoughts. Love the breakdown, man. You're a good trader. Love it. Let's see where we're at. I don't think I trade this one. Yep, I'll get to race, man. I just want to make sure everyone gets their one request in. I think I'm caught up after that, so yeah, I'll get to race in a minute. RACE. Ooh, man, look at that. I'm gonna grab this level here. I'm gonna show you why. Wait, done with the close. Yeah. So again, a little bit of charting tutorial. The candle body closed there on Friday, rejected there all week. Shit, let's look at where we are. We got 1509 basically. So if we just draw a little pocket here, fitness. I want to see this hold this week, man. Bottom right. Right, extend that, yeah. There we go. Cool. So I want to see breakovers, and if it does, I'd love this for swinging long. Damn it. Oh, there we go. If we swing long over that, what do we have? We broke a huge level. Point number one, 200's underneath this. Point number two, 9 is underneath us, 3, and your 20 is underneath us. Okay. When you see that move happens, that's where you get the big continuation moves. So coming over to let's look at this level down here. So we see all of our moving averages stacked, our consolidation stacked. Let's pretend this is 15 down here. We see a stack underneath it. Let me see if I can get this dog in this room. Sorry, hold on one second. All right, I'm giving that dog 1 minute to hang out in here. If he's annoying, guys, I'll kick him out. I'm sorry. His daddy left him to get dinner, and he's a crybaby. All right, 15 zone. Breakout. Who's that? Fitness. Yeah, I love this, man. I love this trade because this zone here, again, 200 is going to be like that. The 9 moves quicker. It's like that. And the 20, you have all those moving averages underneath you. If we break over 15, from a chart perspective, there's no reason to swing short on that. That's a big breakout. That's a confidence breakout. That's confidence to take shares right there at 15. That's a big spot there. I like that chart. Good eye. Let's see. We went over coin, went over AMD. Yeah, RACE. And then I'm going to jump on a couple of my own, you guys, just so I can get to them. All right. Interesting. All right. Give me 1 second. I'm just kind of scanning here, seeing what I like on it. Yep, I like this little spot here. This little range here, little pocket of support is holding, which is good. Oh, Ferrari. Shit, I didn't know that's what that was. That's cool. Nice. All right. So for me, kind of similar to what Fitness had. EMAs are not quite as stacked, but we break over that 437. we can see the moves it can make when it's over. But for me, just no real bias, just looking at the chart. If we sell through this, we've now given up this zone here, the shaded area. Our daily 9 is going to keep going down. It's going to be resistance. So if we sell through it, every time you bounce it, it's going to be resistance. And our 200-day moving average is now overhead. And again, our 20 is going to come down too. And so to me, you can buy dips down in here for sure, no doubt. But to swing long, if you're looking at swings, like you would have 4 things against you. Like to me, I really want to see that level hold there. Day tradable, absolutely. We can definitely day trade this. I don't know if that is what you're wanting to do, but so see that shaded area, how much that matters. Yeah, I like that. So from a day trade perspective, this is actually really nice. So as long as we open where we closed, man, I really like this setup actually. So your 200-day, your yellow, got your 9 right here. And if we open over it, you got three reasons to be bullish on it for a day trade. As long as that shade area holds, because okay, why 1K keeps it, why is it hold, why is it hold? So look at that. Look at where we opened, look at that hold there, hold there, hold there. That's why that spot matters. Okay. I kind of drew it quick, so that level would actually be, yeah, 437.29, basically 437 flat. Thinking of buying shares. Okay, let me make sure my outlook's still sound. Yeah, I mean that is a good spot. To me, I don't know your risk tolerance or if you like buy full position or you scale in, but for me, for a buy-in, I want that to hold. And let's just say we come into this zone here. Let's just see what like percent-wise max pain for you would be. That's only 3%. Yeah, I like this for a share buy too. That's a good share buy. If we come down into here to this zone, because for me, when I look at a zone for share, you guys, for share positions, I'm not trading as an investor. I'm trading as a trader, if that makes sense. Meaning, I'm not going to buy and sell when I'm 60. I'm buying for a flip. And so, from this perspective, when I buy shares, I don't want to take more than 10% loss. So if I buy right here, I want to see, look at, so this last chance support, what I'm calling it, 404, it's only 7.5% away. This is a good share buy chart. If this was a charting class for shares, this is where I'd say it's a decent buy because you're risking 7% downside on this move here. So say you buy a 1/3 position, you buy a little bit more here, and you buy a little bit more here, and we bounce up and we curl. That's what you want to see. Okay. And so hypothetically, let's say this is your average right here. Okay. And you trim on the way up, 21% flip. Okay. So as far as risk reward, you guys see that? Does it have to go up here? I don't know. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But for me, I'm not going to risk 60% downside to make 10% or 8% the upside. So for me, this chart says I'm risking max risk for some shares because you can't just, you can't just hold forever, like, oh, there's shares, there's no expiration. But to me, this zone is huge. Like it held all year. If you give out, you're like, okay, we just gave up this zone here from the year. But yeah, I like this chart for shares. Nice work. David, yeah, I did coin. I want to go over a couple of that line real quick, and if we got time, I'll go back to coin for you. Amazon. And if you miss coin, David, this lecture is recorded too, but I gotta keep rolling, otherwise this class is 3 hours long. And we'll just do charts all night, which is fun, but all right. 200, the old joke about 200 on Amazon. Do you think 200 matters this week? Absolutely. Actually, would point this chart out. Not that I'm bearish, but you know how I roll. When we break a big support, there's no way I'm going to watch the move all the way up here and then go, okay, I want calls right here at 200. That's my short for a day trade on Amazon. Keep watching that, you guys. Send an alert, whatever you got to do. Do we blast it? Maybe we blast through it. That's fine. But for me, I'm not going to open a calls position at 200. Okay. If we open somewhere around here, down Thursday and Friday's lows, grab some calls and ride it up. Trim, 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 and get out at 200. I think Amazon's setting up this week for a nice move. Okay. We sell through this level here. Yeah, it'd be last week's lows. And we can see what happens when we sell through. A little bit of selling pressure there. So my low zone on Amazon for a day trade, not a swing, 197 has to hold early in the week. Okay. And 200 is my ceiling. $3 range, that's very, very nice on Amazon, you guys. So if you guys don't trade Amazon, I think this is a really, really nice setup for you guys, because if we bounce here, that is now a triple bottom based on the daily that 197 held. Okay. Break under, wait for a break under of 197, retest, get your puts, or ride the calls at 200 and cautiously look at the price reaction at 200. And if we start doing this at 200, that's where you get short. When you see hourly closes back to back at 200, so these are hourly candles. When you see these closes here, get short. Okay. Don't take calls forcing it and go, I'll hold. Okay, I'm going to hold a little bit more. I'm down 60%. Okay, I'll average down. Okay, I'm going to sell 10%. That's not good trading. Okay, 200, very important, 200. Google is another one I would point out. Let me zoom out a little bit, see where we're at on Google. I think they had news. So obviously that was a big kill candle, but let's look at the 1 hour on Google. Let's look at that thick line at the bottom. 167, you think that matters? Absolutely. Look at that level there on 167. Okay. Google's one to watch. This should be fun this week. It could be a low volume, choppy week, but assuming not, or, if it's not, 167. If 167 holds, you buy that dip and you get long, because these EMAs are going to curl and you ride that wave up. We sell under 167, get bearish, but what do we have? We got the 200 right here. Okay. Oh man, it bounced hard in the puts. Why'd it bounce? 200. It's not an accident, guys. This is a computer trading. You're going against the computer if you're starting your put position here and you want to go down more. Okay. So break over, ride it up. I don't know how far it's going to go. Could go here in a day, could take 3 days. Under, break under, retest puts. Absolutely, this is my low zone of the day to sell puts. But that's a 2 hour move down to 165 to that 200 moving average on Google. NVIDIA, similar situation, sitting on a big support. Okay, everybody likes NVIDIA, everybody loves to play that. Let's look at that line there. If we come down into 141, I want 141 to hold this week or next week, whenever we get there. That's the level for me. NVIDIA gives up 141, man, big support given up, 2 moving averages overhead. I'm not saying swing short, but that's a spot where I cannot be like diving into calls and just keep catching the knife for me. So 141 holds this week, absolutely. Play the bounce. And this is not saying it's easy for new traders, but you just look left. You go to the 30-minute, 1 hour chart. Okay, where are the candle bodies closing at? Where are my price targets? You grab a line here, for example. Candle bodies are closing there. Look at the wicks there. Look at the wicks there. Candle body close there. Okay. You buy at support, you sell at resistance. If NVIDIA opens over 143, also a very nice spot to get long. Okay. Because look at this green line. It is now stacked underneath it perfectly with another support zone here, 143. So NVIDIA is a very interesting chart to watch this week. Maybe we range. I don't know. Maybe we break out big or break down. I don't know, but big spot to watch. You guys set some alerts, trade the chart, see whatever it gives you. Very big spot there. All right, Julia, you haven't requested anything. You're going to be the last one because everybody else already had some duplicates. Do you want Carvana or Apple? You pick one. Can't give you both because I didn't give anybody else both. I'll give you a few seconds to answer, Julia. Carvana or Apple? Let me know. Just got to be fair to everybody. Because if we start doing 3 and 4 requests, then they get buried. Carvana. I think I like Apple better. Let's see what you pick. This all time. Oh no! Oh man! Look at that move. All right. 260. 260 it is. Don't be late. Don't be late to the bullish party. All right. Didn't hear from you. We're going with Carvana. 260. Look at that level. Think that level matters? Absolutely. Just give you guys a second to look at it. Carvana. No, yeah, I'm not saying be bearish. I'm just saying just be mindful where we're at. And so definitely, are you thinking shares on this, Julia, or swings or day trade? Let me know in the chat now that I have your attention. I'll kind of give you my perspective on it. We can do a lot of things with this chart, actually. I like where we're at, though, on it. Swings, all right. Perfect. Yeah, this thing almost got delisted and then back from the grave. All right, 1 second. I need to go grab an old level here just for some take profit zone. So I'm grabbing this one here. All those candle body closes, like you see all those closes right there. Hopefully makes sense over here. Yep. Got those candle body closes there. All right, Julia, here we go. Swings. How I would trade this. Again, I am just one trader. 10 people are going to give you 10 different perspectives, but reason number 1 to be bullish, this level here, consolidation breakout. This is consolidation, and this is breakout. That's reason number 1. Reason number 2, you got 2 moving averages underneath you. You got your purple and your green, your 9 and your 20, same story as all night. So those are going like this. So as long as this holds this 247, the 250 range, get long, stay long. But again, don't be blind. Don't be, oblivious to this level up here. I can move this, and we can do whatever we want. If it makes it easier, that's resistance until it's not. Okay, that is resistance. Let's see, top left. So that zone is a very big zone that it's at. Okay. Let me delete that just for cleanliness. So for me, a swing perspective, since we closed here, we got 2 options. I'm going to zoom in for you. If you're not in yet, I personally would just keep it on watch. I want to see a breakout over this. I know it's going to be tough if we see a break and a retest here, and you're like, oh, he said to wait, and it's like you watch a $6 move up here, and you're like, man, that could have been me. So it's a tough spot because of this zone that we know how important this zone is here. And so you can either wait and be patient and a break over and get some closes over. I don't mean a 5-minute close. I mean daily closes. So like when the daily candle closes over that, or, if we start consolidating, you're like, okay, you want to be long on it. You made up your mind. and you want to swing on it, wait to come back into the zone here because it's a huge level here. And so it's a tricky spot if you're not already in. If you're in down here, I would say, hey, trim 3/4 of your position and then leave runner here for a breakout. But it's hard to say, I don't know your risk, perspective or profile. So it's either you can get a break and retest of that 260.34 tomorrow or Tuesday or whenever it comes, and then ride that wave. And maybe you're in December calls or January calls. You get a $6 move, that's going to pay super nice. And you just have to ask yourself, okay, I bought time for a reason, but I got the move I wanted in 2 days. Do I take the money or do I let it ride? And that's kind of what I did with KO, Coke. I was in some December 20th calls and I got the move in 3 days, but I sold. Like, I think I sold the runner at like 64%. So it's like, I bought time for insurance. That's why you buy time. A little bit of a side lecture here is like, that's why you buy time on swings, because you don't know when this move is going to happen, but you want or expect the move to continue. And so you buy time. And so KO was at a huge support level. I said, you know what? I'm going to nibble on some calls here. At the time, I was like, I got, 6 weeks of time, 7 weeks of time. I got the move in 3 days. I got lucky. I'm not bragging. So I just took the money off. I took the money because I'm not going to wait for more money and see a big, huge level on KO push up and reject. And now I'm like, well, I'm 18%. Why didn't I take 64%? Okay. And so coming back to this one, Carvana, it's like you can nibble. So if your position, this is just hypothetical. I know the contracts are way more expensive than this. Say your full position size is $1,000. You can go in with a $200 position size and then see if we get the move down here. I'm not saying you should wait for a $13 drop, but you gotta play the chart and what it tells you. And so swings are really hard, you guys. You need to either be patient and wait for a big ass level to break out, or be patient and wait for a huge support to come back. Because if you buy, say they're February calls, and just purely from a chart perspective, you're like, okay, I'm buying calls here, I'm rushing it. Oh shit, we're rejected. Oh, I know there's a big level down here. It's like, do you wait to take, like, that's gonna be hard to stomach, because now you probably took, like, let's just say a 263 call because you wanted the breakout, you're in the money. But now you're like, hey, I got a lot of time on this, but now you held for a $13 drop. But now you have to ask yourself, okay, if you were to start your position here, would you still be buying a 262 call? Probably not, because that's pretty far out of the money. You would probably buy something closer in the money if you start your position here. And so it's a psychological thing where it's like, you got to pick your poison. If you buy in here and we reject, to me, I would stop out and say, hey, the time is not right. I'm gonna take a small loss, 15, 18%, whatever it is, versus holding down for this big move and go, okay, we held, I'm red, I push up. Because what's going to happen if you hold red and you go green? What do? You panic sell. Oh, I'm up 12%. Oh, sell. And then what happens? You get the big move. Why'd I sell? Because psychologically you held through all that red there. And so swings are hard, you guys. For me, I try and be very, very low risk. I need to get the breakout or the breakdown. To me, it's a tricky spot. Again, take them at 260.34, but to me, I'm not holding this whole move down. I mean, obviously we can grab this wick here, but when I see something like this, I go, you know what? I'll just send an alert and I'll wait for it to come there. Because you may think you got to wait a long time. We could tag this tomorrow or Tuesday. We could tag this in an hour. The first, right at the open hour, we could tag this, or it could be a week later. You just don't know. And so swings are tough. This one is tricky because it's just at a big spot. But if we're down here at 248 and you're like, hey, should I swing long? I'm like, you know what? Yeah, get the breakout retest of 248 and go long. And then we could be cheering this trade on for you. So hopefully that helps. Quick recap, you guys. I know someone was asking. We're going long, but quick recap on SPY and QQQ. For me, I don't know, we're going to open 595.43, basically where we closed at. That's a big zone tomorrow. I'll have some comments on it in my tab, but any opens at or around that dictates what we're doing tomorrow. Like, do we sell through and stay bearish all day? I don't know. Do we sell through and bounce and then go back over? I don't know. But to me, if we open around it, that's where we're going to see the battle back and forth. Okay. Open over it, get long, stay long. Okay. Yeah. If it opens above sizzle, yeah. Opens above, absolutely. You take your calls and you have a plan. Where do I sell? Again, look at body candle closes. Okay. If I'm in 0 DTs, I'm not saying hold for this whole move up here. I don't know what percent it is, but for me, yo dog, chill. We're almost done. If you buy at 545, excuse me, 595.43, that's assumption of you're buying like a Wednesday or Friday contract, like profit zone 1, and then looking left and going, okay, where the candle body closes, definitely that 597 zone here, looking left, and for me, top zone on the day, that would be my final sell. Like if I bottom ticked, sell, 597's big, got a runner, I'm out, I'm happy. You bottom tick that whole move of that range. Okay, but again, if you're buying 0 TDs or SPX, I'm not saying buy and hold here. You said hold, go all the way up here. No, like this is like day trade perspective with something with time. 0 DTs, totally different story. You have a game plan on a larger time frame, but 5 minutes, 5-minute time frame, you're scalping these levels here. Okay, but we can see that price action from Friday, how important that level is. We're over it. We tried to push. We under it. Sell, 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 sell. Okay. So as of now, we gapped. Let's see where we open. Sizzle or 598, you guys. May we open at 598. Calls cautiously because we know where this trend line is. Cautiously take your call at 598, but don't ignore this trend line. Okay. Quickly, QQQ, same thing. 506.52. If we open over that, if we open over Friday's high, you have to say, okay, we opened over the previous day's high. What does that tell you? That is a bullish indicator. 506.52, get long, stay long on it. Open under, scalp your puts, but be aware that there's a lot of support here. 506, that 505 is big. I don't have a level, but it's big. Okay, that 504 is huge. Do not take your put entry here and watch this go down to 590, 504 and you're not selling anything because you're greedy. Okay, play the chart, you guys. Okay, with that, you guys, I'm going to end it. I tried to get to at least one person or one request from everybody tonight, so I appreciate you guys being here. Let's have a good week. It's probably going to be a little bit slower week in the markets. We probably hopefully get a nice big move Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Big money's leaving. Thanksgiving's Thursday, so Wednesday and Friday are probably going to be choppy. So don't blow your ports, you guys. If a trade is not working for you guys, just stop out, accept the loss, take the stop out, come back next week, as in like 7 days from now. But let's see where we end up. I'm going to leave these lines up. Let's see where we end up next week. Bourbon's whining. He says good night as well. So with that, you guys, I'm in the chat. Have a good night, you guys.